Hello, everybody. My name is Kushan Hopkins. I'm an instructional technology specialist from Oklahoma Public School Resource Center. And today I'm here to talk about Edpuzzle, just adding a little extra activity to your videos. It comes with a lot of features like assigning videos to classrooms. It has a lot of nice like LMS integration. So really excited to talk about this technology tool that I think will be useful for your classroom. Before I go on, we're joined here with my colleague. I'll let him introduce himself.
Hello, I'm Kurt Bernhardt. I'm the technology director at OPSRC. Kashan and I make up the tech team here. Just if you need any tech resources or need any help, just reach out to us.
Yep, a good way of doing that is through our email, techteam@opsrc.net. That shoots me and Kurt a little message. And so, yeah, we'd love to get chatting with you. It doesn't have to necessarily be about Tech Talks either. And for anybody that's here live, I have my slides over here. I'm going to read these out. I'm going to read the link out and copy it because it's case sensitive. So lowercase t period ly / uppercase b uppercase e lowercase o uppercase h. And that should get you access to the slides. Otherwise, if you're listening to the recording, you can get access to that and any other Tech Talk that I've done and any other recordings through opsrc.net/Tech Talks. We'll just take a moment to jump on that page. Just in case you've never seen it before, we have our upcoming Tech Talks. We got a space that you can suggest future technology tools, and we have a little treasure trove of goodies down here in the archive Tech Talks, so all the ones that I've done this year and excited to hopefully do some more in the next year. But yeah, there's that page. And one last thing to get out of the way is I want to show you a little bit of what you're going to get out of this session, what Edpuzzle is about for people who have no idea what it is. I do have a link over here if you're following along on the slides, but this is kind of like a public link for an open version of the class. And so if you want to get an idea of what the students might experience when they're logged into Edpuzzle, I will show you. So the tool is free, and you can log in using Google accounts. There's also a join code system as well if you have an open classroom setup. But chances are if you want to track the progress that students are making, you're going to have them attached through some kind of class through their email. So yeah, I'm going to switch this over here. And so you're seeing a student view of assignments that I have assigned to the student on here. It's connected to a Google Classroom. You can see the Google Classroom logo on here, letting me know that I'm using a class that's integrated in here. So real nice. One feature that you could do there is take the videos that have slides entered in them. Like there are certain points of the video where a question will be asked, like a multiple choice or an open response that you can grade. But you can assign those videos and push them into your classroom as well. So just kind of increasing the interactivity of that course. So I'm going to show you a quick video real quick. Mentally calculate 15% here, so it's a short 1 minute, and I'll show off a few of the features here. But one thing that we can notice right off the bat here is the fact that we have our YouTube video player right over here. The videos, you can make ones yourselves if you want. In fact, on the top right-hand corner, you can see that there is a Google extension. So if you already use the Chrome browser, any Chromium browser that can accept extensions, you can do screen recordings on here. So it's not nearly as in depth as some of the screen recordings that I did before with, oh gosh, I forgot off the top of my head, Screencastify, yeah. But at the very least, it works really well with what Edpuzzle does. On the right-hand side, I can also see all my video events. I know all the little places that things are going to show up on here, and they're all time-stamped, so really lovely. So I'm going to just play this video for a moment so you can see a bit of the interactivity there.
The next time.
So I've added a note here at the very beginning of my video, just reminding students, follow directions. You want to watch the entire video into the end. And if you want to see the video, I have a link in here. You can throw links, images in there in your notes, and also you can click that little YouTube symbol to open up a separate page. But let me keep on going here.
Next time you eat out with a friend, impress them with this mental math trick. To calculate a 15% tip, you don't need a calculator or even pen and paper.
Okay, pause the video at this point because I've inserted a question. You got a little multiple choice question on here. You can click on whatever you want, but whenever you press submit, it will let me know whether or not I got this correct. on here. Now, if I need to rewatch this little section, I can click rewatch and it'll rewind it to the last action point that it has. But for right now, I'm just going to keep on going.
Just take the original price at half of the price to the
original. One thing you want to note, I have at the very bottom of my my time frame down over here, the little stamps to let me know where my action points are. If I want to, I could try to skip it, but I think this is one of the ones that I didn't let students skip. Maybe let me try to test it out.
And move the decimal 1 digit to the left.
All right. It skips a little bit, but you see that it's going to be hard for me to like skip through the entire video. Yeah, over here, it's letting me know like when. I kind of talked over that part, so let me rewatch that real quick.
Just take the original price at half of the price to the original, and move the decimal 1 digit to the left. That's it. That's all you have.
Very cool. And so I have multiple choice question to ask over here, just making sure that students are comprehending what they're watching on here. I can answer one of the questions. I can click submit, and it'll automatically grade it for me. Now, it does that for multiple choice questions. If you throw in an open response ones, you'll have to grade them yourself, but it's not necessarily all that bad because everything is all in the same interface.
That's all you have to do. Here's another example. Say you have a bill of $48.67. If you want, you can do the trick on the entire price, but since you're probably not going to tip to the penny, it's more convenient to just round the price to the nearest even dollar. Or in this case,
okay. One of the things I do want to show off in the open-ended question, you can, of course, type your answer in here. But one really nice accessibility feature that you can do is answer with audio. So if I click the little microphone symbol here right below the field, it will record a response on here. So you could have students not only type in a response, but they can also do a little bit of narration if that's something that's a little more comfortable for them. Once they're done, they have a little video clip, an audio clip that they can play. They just play the, click the audio button right here. It will record a response on here. So you could have students. Oh man, super cool. Always fun hearing yourself when you're recording, especially while you're recording a session. But yeah, I'm gonna click submit and then it's all done. I'm gonna stop this video right over here. That's probably enough to show off as a little bit of demo, but I just wanna show you what is possible when you do this Edpuzzle and implement it into your classroom. I think there's a lot of uses that you can use on here, and it's a real easy interface to work with here. Okay, give me a second. I just need to adjust my share screen here. There we go. All right, back to business. Super cool. Okay, our objective today, for those who are still here with us, after this training, educators will be able to integrate Edpuzzle to create engaging video content to help their students achieve their learning goals. Keep in mind, no matter what tool that you put in your classroom, the focus is always still the same. Make sure to answer the question, what are my students getting out of this? Not necessarily like, we have to use this tool just because we have it. We want to know what's the students, what kind of goals are they accomplishing with this tool in here? And so I'm going to try to help guide that a little bit. So schedule events so people know what they're getting already. I've already sort of dived into some of the things I wanted to get into, but at the very least, so you have an idea of how everything is going to plan out for my tech talk. The very first thing I want to talk about is integrating technology. I love to do this for my tech talks just because it establishes, I think, a foundation, like a way to think about how technology is going to be implemented in your classroom in a design in sort of a design perspective there. And so I always talk about that first. The next thing I want to talk about is the tool itself. I'll do a little bit of overview and then showcase some of the features of the tool, hoping to spend the most time on that section. And then once I'm done, I'm going to combine integration and applications for the tools, combine them together and invite everybody to just imagine what will this tool look like inside of your classroom. And I try to use the bit that I set up in the integrating technology section to kind of reinforce that. And then finally, I'll wrap up. I'll share some links, some extension activities, some things that you can look through, answer any questions you might have, share a link to the evaluation, the same usual stuff that I do for all my tech talks. But yeah, that is what's what. So without further ado, let's move on to the next section here. First things first, how to integrate technology. Lots of different ways to answer this question. There's lots of frameworks that you can use, TPAC, SAMR, PICRAT, pick the thing that works the best for you. But in this particular session, I'm going to highlight the technology integration matrix made by the Florida Center for instructional technology. The basic idea is that you have these 5 characteristics of learning environments. You can see them posted over here. They're each of the rows. And they are different lenses that you can see how a piece of technology is going to be used in your classroom. And going from the left to the right, it starts from simple uses of technology integration all the way to the most complex, most integrated one, the one that you're going to really maximize the use of a piece of technology. Now, I'm not going to spend an entire session on this. In fact, I've done a previous tech talk on it, really diving into each one of these little pieces on here. But the thing that I think is going to be the most use to someone just now learning about this stuff is, what are the 5 characteristics? Starting from the top, working my way down, I have the active characteristic, which is, how does this tool encourage students to be more active and engage with your content? The collaborative characteristic, which, how does this tool get students to work more with each other, not just with each other or with their peers, but also with teachers, with people outside of your classroom. So this can expand to a larger community as well. Constructive is, how does this tool help a student connect old information to new information? Authentic characteristic helps students connect what they're doing in the classroom in sort of an isolated setting to the world outside. So things like careers, the community, maybe if they have like a college-centered thing that they want to go towards, or more vocational, this is helping them more with that. And then finally, goal-directed characteristic. How does this tool help students monitor their progress and make sure that they are achieving the goals that they need to achieve? So we'll come back to this. I'm going to use one of these characteristics as sort of my lens for this specific tool, but I think any tool you can use any of these characteristics here. Okay, Edpuzzle. It's what you've all been waiting for here, but don't forget about that stuff I just talked about. I think when it's combined with these tools, not just with Edpuzzle, but any of the other tools, you can make some movie magic happen over here. So with the overview here, I just want to answer a couple of questions, highlight a few things. So first of all, just to make sure everybody's on the same page, Edpuzzle allows you to add interactive content into video. So it's very simple, multiple choice, open response, and note style questions. So real easy to get in. You just find the right video and start implementing them in there. So that's kind of the process that you would normally have to go through once you get your classroom set up, which I'll show in a bit in the showcase. A few things that it can do in the classroom, some things I do want to highlight at the very top. Since this is free, you know that there are limitations to it. There is a 20 video limit for each account that you have on there. You can actually increase this limit. They do have like an invitation system on here. Additionally, if you delete videos in your content area, you can also free up that space. So there is an article here that I've linked how you can get more storage. So it explains that a little bit more in detail and probably better than I could. A couple other features, I have mentioned this, assigning videos. I think this works the best if you already have an LMS that you're already working with and you're just pushing those videos out there for students to use. So there's a system for that. There's an LMS class management integration on there, and it has a bunch of different LMSs on there, which I'll show in a bit. I think one of the biggest things that you can do with this is that it supports a flipped classroom or a project-based learning classroom on here. They have a feature called student projects that allows students to find their own videos and create their own Edpuzzle video and make something interactive. And it can be something that you could put back into the classroom and use if there's some really great examples on there. There is a school content sharing feature in there, which whenever you set up your account for the first time, you connect that account to a school. And if you have multiple teachers connected to the same school, you can see some of the content that they're using on there. So it's real easy to share videos that have already been created. So it works really nicely, I think, if you have like a PLC that you're working and that you're already building and sharing content with. This is just another tool that you can add to your inventory there. And I think I've already talked about it, but the Chrome extension, it allows you to do screen recording so you can create your own videos. So real nice. And then the final question, of course, is where do you access it? Edpuzzle.com. In fact, that's where we are going to start the showcase here. So let's do a bit of that. I got 15 minutes. Great. Doing all right on time there. All right, I'm already logged in as a student. Let me log out so you can see things as a teacher. From the very beginning, you'll want to sign up so you can get your account set up. You can get it attached to your school. For right now, I'm going to skip that part and go to log in, but just know that big blue button's where you want to get started, or that button down there that says get started as well on the bottom left-hand corner. From here, you can either log in as a teacher or a student. You know, if you have a student, you'll have your account that you log in, and if it's the first time, you'll have like a code that you'll use on here, which I'll show you a bit later. For right now, go back. Nope, you don't want to go back. How about that? All right, there we go. I'm going to click on I'm a teacher, just log in with my Google credentials, and you probably saw down over there, I can log in with my Microsoft credentials as well. There we go, and we have a nice little dashboard view here. Okay, I want to walk through the steps on being able to just set everything up for the first time in here. So your very first thing that you want to do is create a class. You can do it down over here. There's a little toolbar here on the left-hand side. If I click the plus symbol here by my classes, that little section right over there, I can either create a new class that is housed inside of Edpuzzle, or if you have an LMS down over here, you can see that there's 9 lovely choices: Google Classroom, Canvas, Powerschool, Schoology. I know those are very common ones over here. And they even have Microsoft Teams, I see, is about to pop up on there. So really exciting stuff if you're already using that. But for right now, I'm just going to create a blank course. But yeah, just know options down there. Right now, I got to give it a name. So let's go with, I don't know, algebra. Oh, I've already added a bunch in there. Let's go for statistics. Sure. Mr. Hopkins, fifth hour class, something like that. Give it a grade level on here. Statistics. Oh, my thing's in the way. 11th grade. I can assign a subject on here. So this is just identifying characteristics on here. One thing I do want to point out here at the bottom is a choice that you have to make when you create your classes. Do you want a classic style where students have to log in on here? This is probably the best thing to do by default if you're an educator and you're trying to track stats on students on here. You can do like an open style, which I think is going to be a little better for like younger students. Like if you're an elementary teacher and you want to use this with your student, this is probably the best way to do it, because students just have to enter in a code. They don't necessarily need to manage an account or anything like that. And I think this works pretty nicely with that. But I'm going to go with the classic on here. I'm going to go to the bottom right-hand corner and click Create Class. And then bing, bang, boom, I have a class. Now, your next step would be, since this is a blank class, go to the top right-hand corner and click Invite Students. If you pull a class directly from like a Google Classroom, any of your LMSs on here, you can skip this step because it will just import your roster, which is super cool. But for right now, I'll take that extra step. Top right-hand corner, I'll click Invite Students. Then I can share either one of these 3 things. Either one, do the code. So when students log in for the first time, they input that code. I could do a copy link. So I can just copy paste. I can shoot out an email, something like that, or put it in a messenger, whatever system that you happen to be using, or share via email. It will just open up a separate window that you can send the information to students through that as well. So real easy to do that. And once you see, I'm going to switch over to another class so you can see actual class members on here. Whenever you go to the class itself, I can click the second tab here at the top of my screen that says class members. And you can see the name and the emails on here. And you can also re-import students just in case that you have like an update on the classroom end on there, if you don't see any students that you should be seeing. While I'm here, I'm going to click on the third tab here. I also have a grade book that's being maintained inside of the Google Classroom. It's real nice because I can not only download it on here, but I can make adjustments per assignment if I just click on one of those boxes on there. And it's really great because if you already have this integrated inside, like this is my Google Classroom class, I can push grades as well on there, which is really nice. Let's see if I can show a bit of that. Okay, not the student. Where's the account that I was just using? Okay, I think I'll show that a little bit later. That's going to be a little more involved than I want to try to get into for right now. Okay, so I have the class, I have the students, I need the content. So let's jump in here. There's a couple different ways that you can do that. Either top right-hand corner, I'll click plus add content. And then I can choose to discover my own content, which is the same button here on the top left-hand corner, upload my own videos, record a video on the fly, or kind of a separate thing on here, how to do a student project, which maybe I'll save that for another time. And I think it's really cool being able to set up like a project-based scenario on here. But for right now, let's go and discover some video content. I'm going to click on the first option. And I can either go through the community and see what options are there. There's a couple of filters like subjects, grade levels, country source. I can click on my school to see what other people are doing, or myself because I'm the only one in here. Or I can click on YouTube, search through YouTube. There's a couple of companies that are already on here: Khan Academy, National Geographic, TED Talks, you know, the companies that you'll recognize. If you don't see anything that you like just scrolling through on here, of course, at the top of my screen, I can search through. So if I wanted to find, I don't know, statistics and search for that. Cool. I could pick out any one of these videos. If I find something that I like, I can click on it. And I can see some of these things already have questions in them, or I could create my own copy. If I want to preview this video a little bit just to see if it's up to snuff, I can click on the video to play. Very nice. Once I've determined this is good or not, I can go to the top and either click edit to create my own version. There is assign, which will allow me to just take this video as is with the video, with the questions that are already in there, and push it out to my class. I can click copy just to get a copy of this, and that way I can make edits for that later. Or share preview, which is what I did for my slides. Like if you already clicked to that link and you're like, hey, I don't get some of the same stuff on here. Since it's just a preview on there, it's just a good way to, like, if you want to share to other educators, but you don't want to have kind of the same login, like they don't have to log in and get into it. They can just play the video and see what it's about. It's a quick way to do that. But let's say, for example, this video is up to snuff for my class. I'm going to click assign. I will find the class that I want to assign it into. So I'm going to click my statistics class. But if I wanted to, if I had multiple courses going on here, I could select multiple ones on here and assign it to multiple classes. Once it's ready, I have a start date up here that I can put, a due date on here as well. There's some options like prevent skipping, automatically turn on closed captions on here. And if I want to, I could say post to Google Classroom, which I'll show in a second. This is looking pretty good to me. So I'm going to click assign. And there we go. It's all ready for me. Now, if I want, I can click View as Student. That's kind of a nice feature on there as well. But I'm actually going to go back, top left-hand corner. I'm going to click on the little back symbol there. And if I ever need to view any content that I've assigned, I can just go up to here where it says My Content. I can click here on the top left-hand corner, and I should see the video that's in there. So I can always go back into that video. I can make some edits and some changes. Additionally, if you check the class that you've assigned them to, you can see that that assignment has already been added on there. And I can also check it in the assignment section. So let's say, for example, there is something that I need to grade in there. I just go under assignments, under the class, select the video, and I will be back here where the grades are. Okay, one last thing that I want to show on here. On the left-hand side, if you click My School, you can see all the other teachers that are in, have their accounts attached to the school. So if I click on any one of those teachers, you should see any content that they've posted on there. All right, one last thing that I want to show off in the showcase real quick, and it's actually on Google Classroom. So give me a second. Let's go to Classroom, google.com. Great, I'm in the right account. I'm going to go to algebra. And remember that I pushed out that assignment in the class. So if I go in here, I can see under the stream, I have a little announcement on there, and students can click on that and access the assignment. Also under classwork, you'll see in the all topics section, if I click on that item over there, I can see all of that stuff is being integrated in there, which is really great, which means It's in the grade book as well. So whenever grades get pushed out over here, you can see them show up on here. Real nice integration for that. All right. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen, for hanging out with me, talking about Edpuzzle. I've got about 5 more minutes left, which I want to use to just kind of show the rest of these slides over here. The very first thing is, hopefully, at least at this point, you've imagined what this would look like in your classroom or what students this would work out with. I'm just going to add just a little bit of extra design in there using the technology integration matrix I was talking about earlier. I'm going to take one of the characteristics and do what's called move up a level, which is start at the very basic. You're just introducing the tool to the classroom and try to move it up different levels according to the technology matrix. So I'm going to do 2. And I'm going to use one characteristic, which is the authentic characteristic. The real base definition of that, just in case anybody forgot, is students use technology tools to link learning activities to the world beyond the instructional setting. It's taking what you're trying to give them in the classroom and connecting it with something that's happening outside of your classroom, giving them a bit more context there. So an entry-level way of using Edpuzzle, kind of this is characterized, the entry level is characterized by the passive use, like students are just getting the content in there. It's very simply share a short video with content and questions. Get students comfortable with, okay, I gotta log in, I gotta go into my Google Classroom or whatever classroom you set up. I need to click on this video and I need to answer the questions. And if I don't watch the entire video, it doesn't get counted for me. So establishing those routines, I think, is going to be probably the most important thing once your students get that first contact with your tools. The next step is the adoption phase on there, the adoption level. This is characterized more by a procedural use of the tool. Once they've kind of gotten those routines set up, they start to see how this tool is going to be used on a regular basis. So like, for example, something you can do is either find or create your own video field trip to like get students to see experiences beyond the classroom. It shows them like whatever it is, like a writing assignment or a math assignment, a history, you want to connect it to like a museum, or you want to show how this is going to be used outside of the classroom on here. I think this is a good way to approach that. Give them some context, give them something that they can hang their hats on as they're working with this tool, and I think it's going to enable that. Finally, the adaptation phase is characterized more about the independent use. Ideally, you want to try to turn this tool into your student's hand. That way they get a little bit more out of it beyond your classroom. And so something I highly recommend that you take advantage of is the student project feature. I know I didn't feature it particularly in this time, but go in there, explore. I highly recommend that you do, because this gives your students the opportunity to find their own videos, to find how does this content in a video relate to what you're talking about in the classroom, and they get to, you know, make those adjustments, trim the length of the video itself, add any questions in there, assign partners. And I highly recommend that you, since there's going to be a bunch of videos that every student's going to create, either make student groups or have students grade, like do a little bit of peer reviewing on here. I think that's going to help cut your workload down a little bit if you don't want to use the tool that way. Okay, one last thing is just a couple pages here and I'll be done. This slide over here, Edpuzzle Goodies, is connected to Edpuzzles. And so if you need to review anything that I've talked about or go into any more extension activities, like for example, this option over here, Edpuzzle certifications, Edpuzzle puts out a lot of great resources. In fact, most of these are from Edpuzzle. This allows you to take courses either for yourself. They got teacher stuff in here, but they also have student certifications in here as well that I think are worth taking a look at. My next slide over here is dedicated to technology integration. If you want to go a little bit more further into that, and if you like any of the stuff I was talking about with the technology integration matrix, there are other frameworks out there that are available that I highly recommend that you take a look at. And this last page over here. But before I close things out, there is one thing that I sort of regret not touching on. So let me go back real quick. I put in the video, but I didn't show you how to adjust it really quick. So I'm going to go in here and it's not so hard, but if you're creating your own edit on here, super cool. It didn't show me here because I took a video from somebody else, but you can create, you can go in there and add your own questions in there. I'm just trying to get to the editing menu here. Yes, create my own. Cool, cool, cool. Where is the editing button? I know this is the overview. Sorry, hang on a second, ladies and gentlemen. Give me a hot moment. There is a way to view this on here and make an adjustment. Is it? I swear it's on here. Okay, I might have to save that for next time. And also, it's under the tools. Sorry, the links, the goodie page that I gave out in here. So I'll do that probably next time on here. But at the very least, I do want to make sure that you have these last links on here. Here's a link to the evaluation. Just take a moment or two to give me a little feedback. I really appreciate that. I've been Kashan Hopkins. I'm joined here with Kurt Bernhardt. Together, we make the technology team at OPSRC. And you can email us at techteam@opsrc.net. And yeah, and here's this link for the other tech talks if you want to see them. And I got a couple of buttons down here if you want to click on them. Give us a shout out. Let us know how you're doing on social media. Other than that, I think that's it for me for right now. So thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. And I hope to see you another time.